Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Darrius Jerome Gourdine, and I am so honored to have been invited by my good friend, Mr. Eric Twiggs. Shout out to Brother Ted, to Sharon, who are doing a fantastic job here on this platform. I appreciate them for all the hard work that they're doing. Eric reached out to me today and asked me to come on and just give a few of my personal thoughts on thought leadership and some of the things that I'm involved in as pertains to that. So I said, fine, I would be more than happy to do that. I am an entrepreneur. I'm an author, so I write books. I've written and published 12 books already, either for myself or for other people. In addition to that, I do some products merchandising, I do some marketing things. So I got my hands in a lot of areas. But Eric asked me to speak primarily on thought leadership as it pertains to my books. And I can do that. So when I was maybe sixth grade, which was a long time ago, I was in sixth grade and I loved to write. I would sit and write book reports that weren't due. And I would turn them in and they would grade them, but they would never ask for. I would just write things for no reason. My father, I loved to go out and play with my friends, but I also loved to sit down and write. And my dad used to try to make me go outside because I was sitting and writing so much. He thought I was weird, probably. So I early on knew that writing was something I was passionate about. I liked to do it, but I didn't know you could make a career out of writing. I didn't know that it could be a gift or, a drive. And so I didn't realize it until well after college. So I had written short stories, I had written all kinds of things, not knowing that I could actually benefit from something that I love to do so much. So once I got out of college, went to grad school, came out of grad school, I began to investigate finding out what my passion is. I was always trained to go to school to get a good job, but I was never told to go to school to enhance your mind or widen your thoughts so that you can identify your passion. By identifying your passion, now you're working in an area of your career that you're excited about and that you're almost surprised to get paid. Like you know, athletes are passionate about the game they play, whether it's basketball, football, baseball, tennis, whatever. You're passionate about it, so it's almost comical to get paid on something that you're already passionate about. Like if you're going to pay me to put the ball in the hoop, and I love putting the ball in the hoop, what better life is that? Well, it's the same thing about your gift and your passion. And so once I identified that I have a gift to write, which I didn't know, then the question became, well, how much can I write? How often can I get this done? And what's the process? So I began to educate myself on the process of writing, what it means to actually write a book and to get the book out, to sell the book, how much money can you make? And I began grabbing any information I could as it pertained to my passion. And the more I read, the more I researched, the more I learned, I figured out how to get books done, and I began cranking them out. Now, my goal is to get 100 books written and published by the time I pass away, which I hopefully will be a long time from now. But I'm so driven that I'm cranking out 2-3 books a year. And I'm not like just throwing out books and going to FedEx Kinko's and stapling them together. I'm going through the entire process of ISBN, of barcode, of editing, of photo shoots, of headshots, of graphic design, of sales, of Amazon, of Barnes and Noble. I'm doing all of that because I'm passionate about it. So when it comes to thought-provoking leadership, I'm an extreme extrovert, right? The three people that are on this that lead this platform here all know me because we all players of fraternity, or in Sharon's case a sorority, in the exact same semester. And so we have a group outside of this group, and we all know each other because of that. They know that I'm an extrovert. I am out there extremely. I'm high power from the time I open my eyes in the morning to when I go to sleep at night. So I'm constantly going. My mind is always thinking about a new idea, a new story. What can I write? And I pray. So I pray to God, Lord, give me an idea, give me a storyline, give me something to write about. And I come up with these stories, and I put my pen to page or my fingers to keyboard, and I crank out these books. And it's always confirmation for me because I pray. I say, Lord, give me something that I can produce, and the Lord comes through and gives me something. And I'll give you an example. So a couple days ago, I was driving somewhere, and the thought came to my mind that I should start doing literally like commercials. Like, for example, I have a book right now that's out. It's a series, and this series follows a storyline. Well, I was thinking that I would like shoot a commercial based on the characters in the book. So as I begin to continue to promote the book to would-be potential customers, I could show them the commercial. You know, it's not commonly done, but why not, right? So I had a thought a couple days ago, and my cousin, who is actually Ted's fraternity brother, is a filmmaker. He and I have done several short films in terms of, you know, things like that. So I said, let me call Jason. I could sit down with Jason and film a short commercial based on my storyline in this book. That could be a cool little marketing tool. So yesterday, now this thought that I had was last week when I was driving. Yesterday, I was in a restaurant ordering some food, and my phone rings. My frat brother is calling me. So this guy that's calling me yesterday is my frat brother who lives in Cincinnati. I live in South Carolina. So he calls me. Now, normally when he calls me, we joke about sports. We talk about, you know, the good old days of stepping in the yard. And this guy actually pledged me. So he talks about pledging me and I'm going to put you back online. We go through all these jokes when we talk, right? And so when he called yesterday, I saw him calling and I answered the phone. I actually answered in a funny kind of way because I assumed that just like most of our phone calls, it was a joking kind of call. Well, instead of him joking around with me, instead he said, D, I have a word from the Lord from you. Now, this guy, he's a man of God. He prays as well. He goes to church. So I immediately changed my demeanor and I said, well, what do you have? What are you calling to tell me? So he says, the Lord says to tell you that you need to start taking your content and developing it more into media, like commercials, like, I don't know, take one of your books and take a character and just kind of shoot a video. Now, he's telling me this. I had this thought last week, right? Now, I don't want to get all spiritual and all churchy, but whenever somebody speaks to you in that manner, it shouldn't surprise you. It should only be confirmation of what you've already thought about or heard in prayer. I'll stop right there with that. So, as he's saying this to me, I'm remembering what I thought about last week. And here we have a new idea, a new creative concept that I can put into motion, and by this time next year have a new tool to generate more income and to get my passion out to the public, to get my ideas, my storylines, my characters, my whatever out to the public. And so I'm going to jump on that. I'm not going to let that sit because that came to me yesterday. And because I'm so driven, I'm going to take what he said. I'm going to call my cousin. I'm going to sit down with him, say, what would it take to get this commercial shot? What can I do to get this started? How much is it going to cost? Do I have to hire actors? Like, what's the process of doing that so that I can get this done? So I think that when you commit your mind to, first of all, finding out what your passion is, that's the most important question of all. What am I here for? Why did I wake up this morning and somebody else didn't? Once you find that out, then, as I like to say, you have to become relentless about it. Like, literally relentless. There are people who are relentlessly chasing their passion down, like hunting it down on a day-to-day basis. No sick leave, no vacation days, no weekends off, no holiday pay. They are relentlessly and passionately and diligently jumping down the throat of their passion so that at the end of the day, they get it done. Whether that's a 24-hour day, a month, a season, a year, they get it done. Too many people look back and say, I wish I would have. Or had I. Or if I could go back and change. You know what? You can't go back. You can not. If you talk to 100 people and ask 100 people this one question, I guarantee you would get 100 of the same answer. If you ask 100 people, did a survey and say, if you could go back and change anything in your life, would you? 100 people would say yes. They would change at least one thing, or change a lot of stuff. But you know what? We can't go back. You can't even go back 10 seconds. You can't go back at all. But what you can do, you can change your future based on the information you have from your past that you implement right now. And too many people know information from the past, but don't make necessary changes now that will affect their future. They expect the future to be different when they have done nothing different from the past. So if the past taught me any lessons, it should teach me what to change so that I can have a greater effect and impact on the future that I want. And people don't understand that. They call it insanity when you keep doing the exact same thing and expecting a different result. They're calling you insane. So sane people will look at the past, find out what went wrong, take some notes. Okay, if I could do this over, how would I do it over? And do it over now. I turned 51 on Sunday, and I feel like I am just hitting my stride. I am in the peak, because you will not read my story when I'm long gone and say Darrius didn't, Darrius couldn't, Darrius should have. No, you're going to read Darrius did, Darrius finished it, Darrius completed it. And it all goes back to thought leadership. This is how I think on a daily basis. I drive myself. If you can't find yourself as a motivation, find somebody else. Get Sharon as your mentor. She will crack the whip. Get Eric. Get somebody. Get someone in your corner that will motivate you in a positive way. A lot of our friends talk negative, talk down. Get new friends. If you're the smartest person in your circle, get a new circle. Get a mentor. Get someone who could push you, that can really invest in you and pray for you, pray with you. Get somebody who will see what your goal is and help you get to that goal. Get someone who will see the finish line with you and run the race with you. Get somebody who will jump on your train and say, look, through thick and thin, through rain or sleet, we're going to get this done. And let them motivate you. I'm not saying every day is easy. I'm saying every day is doable. So think yourself into a better place. The Bible says, as a man thinketh, so is he. You are what you think about yourself. Whatever your mind formulates about you, that's what you are. So in the morning, your thought process is so important to start your day. It's incredibly important. If your day begins on a sour note in here, your day will be sour all day. That's proven. It's the truth. So I make sure that my thoughts when I get up in the morning are ones that would have me happy, that would have me energetic, that would have me passionately pursuing my purpose today. Because I want a result in the future. And if I don't do it today, I won't have it next Wednesday. If I don't do it today, I won't have it next year. If I don't do it today, my son won't benefit from it when he's an adult. So I hope that what I've shared with you today, just a few thoughts that I would like to encourage you with. For anybody who's on the fence with what their passion is, pray about it. Get a mentor. Get someone who could, who understands purpose, and have some conversations. There are tons and tons and tons and tons of books that outline how to find out what your gift is, what your passion is. There are personalized tests you can take that will help at least narrow down based on your interests, your personality type, the things that excite you, the things that make you upset. You can plug all those things in, and it will at least narrow down what your passion might be. Find out what it is, because ultimately you are responsible to executing your passion. If not for you, more than likely for somebody else, whether it's your children, your family lineage, or your community. Somebody should be benefiting from your passion. So let's find out what it is, and let's pursue it religiously, relentlessly, and diligently. So with that, I'm going to sign off. I hope this has been wonderful for you guys. It's been great for me. Thank you to Dr. Sharon Porter, who is amazing. Thank you for Ted Fales, who is an amazing brother. And thank you to Eric Twiggs, who is an absolute amazing brother. These three people have done amazing things through this platform. I'm just in awe. I sat on the first Zoom that they did, And I connected with 2 people who gave presentations who are both helping me now. So thank you to you guys for your platform. Thank you for the hard work that you put in to all that you're doing. And I hope that those who have listened to this message can benefit from it. All right. God bless. Take care.